Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. मैं नाही का चाह नाही किच आहे न मोरा अवसर लजा राख ले हो सदना जन तोरा डंडौत बंदन अनेक बार सर्व कला समरथ डोलन तेरा खो प्रभु नानक दे कर हाथ डोलन तेरा खो प्रभु नानक दे कर हाथ वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहेगुरु जी का खासा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. How did that feel, Sangat ji? Did you feel some sort of calmness, some sort of peace inside? Raise your hand if you did. Yes? Very good. Now imagine if we do this every single day. We only did it for like 2-3 minutes, Simran. With full concentration we tried to. Imagine doing this every single day. What we can achieve in life. Sangat ji, we're very blessed to be here in the century of the King of Kings, Tan Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And Sangat ji, the reality is that we were never really disconnected from Vaheguru to begin with. That's the title of this talk today. We were never really disconnected from Vaheguru to begin with. We're just distracted. What are we distracted by? What is distracting us in our life? Our thoughts. Our thoughts pull our awareness outwards into the world. When our mind becomes outwardly, meaning it's absorbed into the world, then we're less and less in tune with that inner vibration that has created this whole universe. What is that inner vibration? If we ask Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they tell us every single day, what do they say in the Mool Mantar? Ek Oankar. That is the vibration that has created this whole universe. That is the vibration that has created you and me and everything that we see around us. And who has created that vibration, that tuni? Ik. There's only one God, Vaheguru. Vaheguru created that vibration. So Sangat ji, that is exactly what we're trying to get in tune with internally. But what ends up happening? We end up getting distracted by all sorts of things. And then our awareness goes out in the world and we're focused less and less inside. But the vibrational presence of Vaheguru is always there. It's just our attention has shifted away. Now look at the beauty of what we just did. We just did Simran for a few minutes in Sangati Roop. What did that do for us? And almost everybody raised their hand and they felt really good inside, felt peaceful inside. What did Simran really do for us? What did listening to Gurbani being sung really do for us? What it did was that it gathered our scattered mind. That mind that is running in 10 different directions, thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. When I get home, I need to do this. When I need to go to work, I need to do these things. We have all these checklists that we have in our mind. Oh, tomorrow is Sunday, I only have one day off, and then I have to go back to work on Monday. All of these things are working in our mind. We're thinking about these things. And the funny thing is, we're thinking about these things in the Guru's Darbar as well. Our mind is just not able to stay still. We're thinking, what is our child doing? Is our child okay? All of these things are running in our mind constantly, and we're getting distracted. But what Gurbani, listening to Gurbani, reading Gurbani, contemplating upon Gurbani, doing simran, what it does for us is it gathers our scattered mind, our mind that is going and running in different directions, is bringing it back into focus and aligning it with the inner vibration. That inner vibration that is Oankar. That inner vibration that is Vaheguru, essentially. And not just that, Sangaji, we also need to do more than that. What else do we need to do? What else are we asked to do? We're asked to do seva. We're asked to come into the sangat. Why? Why is it very essential? Why is it so important to do seva and come into the sangat along with doing simran, along with reading Gurbani and contemplating upon it? It's because when we come into the sangat, when we do seva, our mind becomes humble. Our ego quietens, it calms down. Then we're able to align our mind with that vibration that exists within us and outside of us everywhere. We're able to align ourselves with Vaheguru. Because otherwise, if we don't do these things, if we don't come into the sangat, if we don't do seva consistently, not just like once in a blue moon sort of thing, if we don't do these things consistently, then what happens? It's very simple. What happens? Our ego takes over, then we get distracted. And then our attention goes into the world, and it takes us quite some time to bring our attention back into the present moment and align ourselves again with that vibration. So Sangaji, in this way, we were never really disconnected from Vaheguru. Vaheguru was never really far away from us. Our Guru is never really far away from us. There's no difference between Vaheguru and our Guru, and Gurbani tells us that as well. We use it synonymously. Gurbani tells us, Gur Parmesar Eko Jan. Gur referring to Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji all the way to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and Parmesar referring to Vaheguru. Jan, know them to be Eko, know them to be one. There's no difference between Vaheguru and Guru. So know that our Guru is still here in the form of Gurbani. Our Guru is here to guide us, to bring our attention inwardly so that we can become in tune with that inner vibration, Oankar. This understanding is beautifully connected to a Sakhi from the life of Bhai Nandalal Ji. For those who don't know Bhai Nandalal Ji, they were a great poet and a contemporary Gursikh of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and they absolutely loved Guru Gobind Singh Ji, loved them. They are the ones that wrote the praises of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Nasro Mansoor Guru Gobind Singh. That whole composition was written by Nandalal Ji. They also wrote the Rahatnama that states the spiritual, the moral, and the social principles of the Khalsa. So if you have a chance, do read the Rahatnama and do read that whole composition, the praises of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when you get a chance. It's really beautiful. Let's take our mind back to the point where Guru Granth Sahib Ji were being given the Gurgaddi, the Guruship. Imagine Guru Gobind Singh Ji standing before you right now and talking to you and saying that I'm not going to remain here anymore in this physical form. I'm going away. This body here is not going to be here anymore. This body is not going to remain here anymore. I'm going away. But if you still want to talk to me, if you still want to interact with me, if you still wish to converse with me, then you can do that through reading Gurbani, through contemplating upon Gurbani, through listening to Gurbani. I'm still here. This body isn't here. It's not going to be here anymore, but I'm still here in the form of Gurbani, Gur Shabad, in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And at that time, Guru Gobind Singh Ji said to everybody, Guru Manyo Granth, know Guru Granth Sahib Ji to be your true Guru. Accept Guru Granth Sahib Ji to be your true Guru. And Bhai Nandalal Ji at that time, they're listening to everything that Guru Gobind Singh Ji is saying. They're taking it all in. And imagine that love that they had, that friendship that they had with Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They were able to talk to Guru Gobind Singh Ji with a lot of ease. Can you imagine having that relationship with your Guru? To be able to talk to your Guru with ease. And Bhai Nandalal Ji, they come forward to Guru Gobind Singh Ji and they said, Maharaj, I feel that I haven't even experienced your company enough yet. And you're saying you're already leaving? What does that even mean? Where does that leave us? What are we going to do when we want to come speak to you, when I want to come talk to you? What if I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling lost? What if I'm feeling doubtful? What is going to happen to me when I'm feeling confused? Who am I going to come talk to you? How am I going to come talk to you? How am I going to speak to you if you're leaving this physical form? Where am I going to go? Where does that leave us? And at that time, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they said, Nandalal, I'm still here. I'm still going to be here with you, but just in a different way. And by Nandalal Ji, just like the Sangha, they were very confused. We don't know what Maharaj is talking about. But by Nandalal Ji said, exactly how are you going to be here then? If I can't see you, if I can't be with you, if I cannot even touch you, then exactly how are you going to be here? How are you going to guide us? At that time, Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, I have 3 forms. They said, Teen roop hai mohe ke. I have 3 forms. Sunho Nand Chitalai. They said, listen to Bhai Nandalal Ji, listen, Chitalai, with full concentration. They said, my first form is Sargun, this physical form that you see before you, that's my first form. They said, I'm also Nirgun, I'm formless, I'm within everyone and within everything. And Bhai Nandalal Ji, in their innocence, they're listening to this, and they're thinking and they're saying to Maharaj, they said, that's great, that's amazing, Maharaj. This is awesome. But you know what, Maharaj? That's not good enough for me. I can't connect to the formless. I just can't. I can't do it. How am I supposed to talk to something that I cannot see? How am I supposed to converse with someone that I cannot even see? What am I supposed to do? It's not good enough for me. You need to help us out. And at that time, Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, if that's the case, then this is what you can do. They understood where Bhai Nandalal Ji is coming from. They understood that love that was within Bhai Nandalal Ji. They couldn't bear to see Guru Gobind Singh Ji leave their physical form. So they said, this is what you can do. They said, Jo muj bachan sunan ki chahe, granth vichar sunho chitalaye. They said, my 3rd form is Gurbani, is Gur Shabad, that is within Guru Granth Sahib Ji. They said, Jo muj bachan sunan ki chahe. They said, if you really have that cha, and here you're probably thinking cha, ding, 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 maybe drinking some tea. Is it langar time yet? So no, cha here doesn't mean, cha, it doesn't mean tea. It means excitement. They said, if you're really excited, if you really want to come talk to me, then you can still do that. How? It's very simple. Granth vichar sunho chitalaye. They're saying Granth, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, referring to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, vichar, listen to Gurbani. Read Gurbani. Vichar, contemplate upon Gurbani. But how? Chitalai, with full concentration. Be fully present. Not just reading Gurbani for the sake of it, treating as a checklist every single day. Oh, I got this done, Nitnem ho gaya, check. Kirtan Sola Sahib, check. Rehra Sahib, check. All done. Okay, I can go to sleep now. We do that. I do that. We all do that. But when we get to a point where we read Gurbani and we try to understand what Maharaj is really saying, that is revolutionary for us. That is what changes us. That's what transforms us from within. And that's what we want to do. Chittalai, be fully present. And Maharaj isn't just saying this to Bhai Nandalal Ji. They're talking directly to us today. They're saying, if you really want to talk to me, if you really want to speak to me, then all you have to do is read Gurbani, listen to Gurbani, and contemplate upon it deeply. It'll be like I'm having a conversation with you. You will feel my presence. And it is very true, Sangaji. When we read Gurbani with our heart, we can feel the presence of our Guru. Our Guru has not gone anywhere. Our Guru is still here. All we have to do is take that step to get to know our Guru. How many of us have actually, come to Gurdwara Sahib and gotten darshan of Guru Granth Sahib Ji? Or are we just coming around and doing parkarma and then, going for langar? And that's our relationship with our Guru. How many of us have actually read the Gurbani that is written within Guru Granth Sahib Ji? Raise your hand. Not that many. So then, how are we going to make a relationship with our Guru if all we're doing is doing matha tek, going around because everybody else is doing it, then sitting here, maybe listening to a word or two, and then going to langar, and that's it. I've done my bit, checklist done. Edda gal nahi bani sangat ji, kuch karna paina. So let's see what teachings Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji are giving us for the month of Assu in the Bani of Barah Maha Manjh, and we're really going to put our concentration into understanding what Guru Sahib is telling us today. Okay, so Maharaj is saying, Assun prem umahara kyo miliya har jaye. This is beautiful. Maharaj is saying Assun in the month of Assu, which is roughly from mid-September to mid-October. This is when the temperature is changing, the weather is changing, the winds are getting cooler, and the leaves are going to start changing color, and the leaves are going to start falling from the tree onto the ground. That is symbolizing detachment. That is symbolizing impermanence. That is symbolizing the inner emptiness that we feel inside. That all possession, all worldly attachments, our family, our friends, everything that we're attached to, our phone, our telly, our shows, whatever it is that we're attached to, all of these things will fall away one day. Just like the leaf that is falling onto the ground, all of these things will go away because these things are temporary. As seekers of the truth, we have awakened now. We've awakened and we've realized that this world is temporary. We've realized that this world isn't where we're going to get that true satisfaction from. We feel happiness in life. Don't get me wrong. We are happy in our life. You know, whenever we go out shopping, whenever we go see our family, whenever we go see our friends, we watch a movie, whatever it is that gives us happiness, eat good food. We do have happiness in life, but that happiness is very short-lived. The happiness is temporary. How do we get to that permanent happiness? How do we get to something that is permanent, that is profound? And what is that something that is permanent, that is profound? Maharaj is saying, prem. It's true love. We have reached a point in our journey now, as we've been going through the kathas every single month, we've reached a point in our life now where there's a deep craving within us to find true love. That these materialistic things, the achievements that we get, our titles, our roles, our professional roles, all of these things are not cutting it anymore. All these things that we seek happiness from, they're not cutting it anymore. We're seeking for something that's more profound, that's more permanent, and that is true love. And Maharaj is saying, Assun prem umahara. Umahara here means a surge, an intense wave of emotions that we're feeling inside of us, and these emotions we cannot suppress anymore. We cannot suppress that feeling of emptiness within us anymore. And this feeling of emptiness is the beginning of love. It's giving birth to spiritual longing. And it's awakening that love within us. And we're feeling this surge of emotions, and we're feeling really overwhelmed by these emotions. And we're on a journey to find true love. Now, what does that mean? We'll look into that. How do we find that true love? Kyo miliya? How do we find that true love? Basically, we're asking, how do we find Vaheguru? How do we bridge the distance between us and Vaheguru, and what is true love? So let's see what Maharaj is saying, what true love looks like. Maharaj says, Sachi Preet, hum tumse ojori, tumse ojor, avar sang tori. That's Sachi Preet. I've made a true connection with you. We're saying to Vaheguru that I've made this true connection with you, Sachi Preet. Basically, we're saying to Vaheguru that I'm head over heels for you. I've fallen in love with you. Sachi Preet, hum tumse ojori. I have fallen in love with you, Vaheguru. And what does that true love look like? That true love isn't temporary. It doesn't come and go. That's just infatuation. True love is here to stay. True love doesn't change with the circumstances. True love doesn't fade away. If we break down the word prem, it breaks down to pare main. Ma means ego, and pare means to go beyond our ego, where there is no ego left. That's what true love is. And we're saying that, Vaheguru, I've made this connection with you, with your grace, with your blessing. I've fallen in love with you. Sachi Preet, hum tumse ojori. And what does true love do for us? It transforms us from within. And how have we transformed? Tumse ojor, by connecting with you, avar sang tori. I've broken away from those things that were toxic in my life. I've broken away from harmful habits. I've broken away from those environments, negative environments that were toxic for me. I've broken away from all of those things. I'm not attached to validation anymore. I don't seek compliment or praises anymore. I don't fear judgment anymore. I've broken away from all of those things. And what has happened now? I've broken away from those things and I'm now connected to you. All I care about is you. I don't care about what the world says anymore. They don't matter anymore. What matters now is you. That's what true love is. That's where we want to get to. And that surge of feeling, this emotion is rising within us, and we want to connect to that vibration that is within us. And where do we see this true love? Because it feels a bit far-fetched at the moment. Vaheguru has created this whole universe, created this whole creation, and Vaheguru has given us families, has given us friends, people to interact with. So in roles that we play as a parent, as a child, as a sibling, as a friend, we learn patience, we learn forgiveness, we learn kindness, we learn compassion. And through this, we are not just experiencing love, we're becoming love. That's what we want to do. So this is a reminder that living Gurbani isn't just sitting in meditation. It's how we show up in our daily relationships with our family, with our friends, with our sangat. And each act of patience, each act of forgiveness, each act of compassion is us slowly becoming love. So that's what Maharaj is saying for this month. And Maharaj go on to say, Man tan pyas darsan kani koi aan milave mai. This is beautiful. They're saying man, meaning mind, tan meaning body, pyas, we're really thirsty. Kani means this thirst is, this powerful desire is overwhelming. Can you imagine being in a desert? You're walking in the desert and the sun is really shiny and really bright and is really, really hot and you don't have any water with you and you're feeling really thirsty. The only way that thirst is going to be quenched is by drinking water, isn't it? Just like that, we're really thirsty within to experience that true love, to become love. And our mind and our body are thirsty for that divine experience, because modern science even says that the thirst is there because as humans, there's an intrinsic need for purpose. There's an intrinsic need for connection. We need to have purpose in our day-to-day life. We need to have that connection within our life to feel that we're getting somewhere, to make our life a bit more meaningful. And when that connection, that purpose is unmet, then what happens? That creates anxiety. That creates emptiness and longing. And this is why we're searching for meaning in life. No matter where we come from, doesn't matter where we've been, we're all searching for that connection with the truth. So it makes sense for the mind to yearn, for the mind to be thirsty. I was just thinking about it, that Maharaj is saying man and tan, that both mind and body are thirsty. It makes sense for the mind to be thirsty because that's where the thoughts arise, that's where the emotions arise, that's where the longing arises. But why is it that Maharaj is mentioning tan as well? Why the body? I thought about it. It's quite interesting that Maharaj mentioned the body as well. And let's look into Gurbani, why Maharaj is saying the body is thirsty for that divine connection as well. Where Maharaj say, Har mandir eho sarir hai, gyan ratan pargat hoy. That Har mandir eho sarir hai, this body is our temple, is a temple of God. In this body, gyan ratan pargat hoy, that spiritual wisdom awakens. That spiritual wisdom is revealed within this body. This body is how we can connect to Vaheguru. What do we mean by that? When we yearn for Vaheguru, what happens? We cry. That's us having a full body experience of Vaheguru. When we listen to Kirtan, that pierces our heart. It really touches us inside. We lose all sense of time, all sense of space. We don't know where we are. We don't know what time it is because something has touched us very deeply inside. And what happens? We start to cry in that love, in that yearning. That is us experiencing Vaheguru, having that full body experience of Vaheguru. In that way, our body is made of the 5 elements, and these 5 elements are yearning to go back to where they came from. They're thirsty for that connection as well. Sangaji, we're all capable of this experience. It's not far-fetched. Saints are not the only beings that are capable of experiencing true love in this life. We're all capable of it as well. Maharaj go on to say, Mantan pyas darsan kani koi aan milava mai. This is absolutely beautiful. Here we have a realization that this profound feeling that we feel inside of us is omahara. We cannot suppress it anymore. We want to experience that divine love. We have this overwhelming feeling. We have this thirst inside of us to experience Vaheguru. And we have that realization as well. Well, hold on a second. I cannot do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I need someone to guide me. I need Sadh Sangat. I need Gurbani to guide me. I cannot do this on my own. Because if I try to do this on my own with my own effort, what's going to happen? Ego is going to take over me. And then I'm going to be distracted again. But I don't want that. I want to feel that love. And one of the many ways we can feel that love is coming into the Sadh Sangat. And Mai is so beautiful because we're calling out to Vaheguru like a child cries out to their mother. We're calling out to Vaheguru and saying, Vaheguru, please help me. Please support me. Please protect me. Please bless me so I can feel that love for you inside of me. I really want to. And in this way, we're surrendering ourselves. We're letting go of our ego. We're letting go of our pride that holds us back. We're letting go of those things. We're becoming humble and we're asking for help, because that in itself is a really big thing. Because ego doesn't allow us to ask for help in life. But here we're surrendering ourselves. We're saying, Mai, help me. Help me make that connection. I really want to. I'm really thirsty for it. I really want to experience Guru Gobind Singh Ji. I really want to feel the presence of my Guru. Help me feel that presence. That's what we're asking for. Sant sahai prem ke hau tinka laga pai. Sant, referring to saintly beings, those Gurmukhs that are living the teachings of Gurbani. They're not just talking the talk, they're also walking the walk. They're living those teachings. They have become Gurbani, Gurbani Baniya. They've become the embodiment of Gurbani. Sahai, they're the ones that help us. They're the ones that support us. Prem ke, to make that divine connection. Prem ke here means of divine love, to help us connect with Vaheguru. How I, tinka, of them, laga pai. I fall at their feet. I surrender myself to them, to those beings. I fall at the feet of those that are already connected to Vaheguru. And I surrender to them because I want them to help me, to support me in experiencing that divine love that they're experiencing as well. I want to experience that for myself as well. And who is a sant? Because Maharaj is talking about sant, saintly beings. Who is a sant? Let's ask Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Maharaj say, Jina saas girasana vesara, har nama har mant, tanasi sayi nanaka, puran soi sant. Who are saintly beings? Jina saas giras na visara. Those that don't forget Vaheguru. With each and every breath, they're remembering Vaheguru. With each and every breath, they're remembering the one where they came from. With every food that they eat, every bite that they take, they're remembering Vaheguru, where this food came from. They're thankful. Haranama Harman, they're reciting, they're remembering Vaheguru. What does it mean to remember Vaheguru? It means to have the remembrance of Vaheguru in each and every thought, in each and every single action that we do. That's what it means to remember Vaheguru. And these saintly beings, everything that they do, their thoughts, what they say, what they listen to, their actions are aligned with that Naam, with the remembrance of Vaheguru. And we can do that as well. We have to start from somewhere, isn't it? We can do that as well. We can start that journey from here as well. So we get to that point where they are and experience that love as well. So Sangaji, this Pankti is talking about the importance of Sangat, because within the Sangat is where we're going to find these enlightened beings, these Gurmukhs, who can help us connect to that inner vibration that is within us. So think of Sangat like oil in a lamp. So, you know, when we come for Bandi Shor Divas, most of us bring dive with us. What do? What do we put in the dive? We put oil, isn't it? So think of Sangat like oil. And we have to keep on replenishing that oil to keep the flames going, isn't it? What happens when the oil finishes? What happens? Anyone? Yep. You were really excited to answer. The flames go off. Very good. So what happens then if we don't replenish the Sangat? We don't come into the Sangat consistently. What happens to us? The flame of Sikhi starts to go down. What happens to us? We start to lose interest. We start to get distracted. You know, when we go to camps, we get that Sangat for like so many days. We're so pumped up. And what happens when we come back to our reality, when we come back home? We get camp blues. I don't believe in those, by the way. We get camp blues because the Sangat that we were experiencing, that love that we experienced so much, suddenly we've come back to our reality and is gone now. And we're trying to keep up with our Amrit Vela, with our Nitnem, and we're trying to keep on going. But it's not happening because the Sangat isn't there. It's very simple. We need to come into the Sangat to keep that seva going, to keep that simran going, to keep that Gurbani within us going. Because if we don't come into the Sangat, if we don't replenish that oil within the diva, what happens? Then the Panj Chor take a hold of us. The 5 vices, they take a hold of us. They take a hold of us and they take us on for a ride. The ego takes over us and we are distracted in this world. We forget what we're here to do to begin with, which is to experience Vaheguru. Maharaj going to say, Bin bhaga sat sanga na labba, bin sangat mail parijja jiyo. This is the importance of Sangat. Bin bhaga, without good fortune, sat sang. Sat sang here is referring to the company where the truth is talked about, the company where the truth is contemplated, the company where the truth is experienced, the truth being the Gurbani that is within Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That's what Satsang is. Bin paga, without good fortune, we cannot get to that Satsang. And without that, bin sangat mail parijja jiyo. Without that sangat, then our mind is full of filth. The filth of ego, the filth of panchachor, they take a hold of us. They distract us in our life. That's what ends up happening. Think of the mind like a mirror. When the mirror is really dirty, what happens? We're not able to see our reflection. What happens when we come into the Sangat? We start to clean that mirror. We start to clean that dirt off. And what happens? We're able to see our reflection. What is our reflection? We're able to see who we truly are. And who are we? We're Vaheguru. We start to see that. When our mind is clean, when that mirror is clean, we're able to see our reflection. Just like that, when our mind is clean, we're able to see, we're able to realize who we truly are. Sangat-ji, then what do we need to do? We need to make Sangat our priority. We need to come into the Sangat regularly and consistently. And how can we do that? There's so many different things that we can do. And Siddharji, I won't get into that because Siddharji will talk about all the different ways that we can connect to the Sangat at the end. So I'll skip that bit for now. And if you're really interested, then you can approach one of us and we'll talk about it. But there's weekly classes that are happening. There's monthly Simran programs that are happening that you can get in touch with. I'll leave that to Siddharji to talk about near the end. They really get excited and really like talking about it. So Sangat Ji, Maharaj going to say, Vin Prabh kyo sukh paiya, duji nahi jaye. Vin meaning without, Prabh, God, referring to Vaheguru. Kyo meaning how, sukh paiya, sukh meaning happiness, peace. Paiya means to obtain. How do we obtain that peace, that happiness, that permanent happiness, that bliss without Vaheguru? Duji nahi jaye, there is no other way. There is no other option. There is no shortcut. There is no other alternative to that divine connection. The peace, the stability, the contentment that we're looking for in life isn't in the world. Because the world makes us emotionally, physically, and mentally dependent to the materialistic things, to the people of this world. Whereas when we depend on Vaheguru, what happens? We're uplifted. No matter what challenges that we might be going through in our life, we're still happy, we're still uplifted. What happens when we're dependent on the world? We have mental breakdowns. We're surrounded by anxiety, we're surrounded by depression, we're surrounded by all sorts of illnesses. But when we're dependent on Vaheguru, all of these things we might be going through, but they don't affect us. They don't influence us. It doesn't mean that we never get them. It just means that we are not influenced by these things. So this Pangti is a reminder to recenter, to refocus our life around Vaheguru, around Gurbani. And keep Vaheguru in our awareness. That's what it means to remember Vaheguru. Having Vaheguru's awareness when we speak. Having Vaheguru's awareness when we're listening to other people talking to us about other people. Awareness of where that is going to lead us. Are we listening to slandering and gossiping? Being aware of that. Having awareness of what our actions are doing. Having awareness of Vaheguru when we're interacting with each other. Are we speaking harshly with each other? Are we speaking nicely with each other? Because that will determine whether we're actually doing simran or not. Because we can all be sitting here saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. That's not really going to go anywhere if our actions are not reflecting that. Does that make sense? Our actions need to reflect Vaheguru as well. That happens when our actions are reflecting compassion, kindness, humility. Maharaj go on to say, Jini chakhya prem ras se tripta rahe aghai. They're saying Jini, those who, chakhya meaning to taste, to have experienced, prem ras is referring to the essence of Vaheguru. Those that have experienced Vaheguru, say they, tripta rahe, they remain fully satisfied, aghai. Their thirst is quenched. They're fully content in life. They don't run around looking for ego-boosting things. They're not distracted anymore. They become content in life. They're satisfied in life. Maharaj go on to say, Aap tyag benti karhe leho prabhu lad laye. Aap tyag, what does that mean? It means to renounce that ego. Let go of that ego, aap. That I, me, myself, and I, putting ourselves first, let go of that ego, renounce it. Aap tyag, remove it. Remove all the decorations that we use to build our identity. That identity that we use to say, I am something. What are those decorations? Our titles, our achievements, our status in society. All of these things are decorations that we use to build up our ego. We want to let go of those things. Tyag, remove them. Because what happens when our ego gets amplified? What happens when we use these titles to feel secure in the world? We end up saying, hey, look at me. I'm doing something. Look at what I've done. I've done the seva. Mom, did you see? I was doing kirtan. Did you see I was playing tabla? Hey, look at me. See me. I am something. That's what we do. That is our ego getting boosted. We want to let go of that. We're going to let go of that. So Maharaj is saying that in this world, it's quite interesting, this world tells us to become something. This world tells us to become successful, to succeed. But in the spiritual journey, we want to become nothing. We want to say that I am nothing, Vaheguru, you are everything. Everything that is happening, all the seva that is happening, the Gurbani that is being read, the Gurbani that you're blessing me with, I'm not doing it, it's you doing it through this vessel. That's where we want to get to. Because we need to make room for Vaheguru. What's happening when our cup is full of ego? There's no room for Vaheguru anymore. When our cup is already full with ego, there's no room for God. What do we need to do? We need to get rid of that ego. We need to empty our cup so Vaheguru can come inside. That's what Maharaj is saying, Aap tyag. And benti karo, do ardas for this. Do ardas every single day that Vaheguru, please bless us. Please help us to get rid of this ego. Leho Prabhu, please accept me, Vaheguru. Ladalai, attach me to yourself. Please help me. This is the ardas we're doing. Maharaj say, Prabhu ven duja ko nahi, Nanak har saranaye. Prabhu referring to Vaheguru, ven meaning without, duja meaning other, ko nahi, there is no other than Vaheguru. Nanak, Guru Nanak Desai Ji saying, har saranaye. I've come into the century of Vaheguru now. I seek the refuge of Vaheguru. And we're saying to Vaheguru, I've come to your sanctuary now, please help me, please protect me. There's no one other than you that can really help me. Please help me, please protect me. I've come to your sanctuary now. Coming into the sanctuary of Vaheguru doesn't mean that we renounce the world. That's not what it means. Coming into the sanctuary of Vaheguru means we start to see through the world. What does that mean? For example, being in a relationship but not being defined by that relationship. Working but not worshipping success. Having phones but not being possessed by them. We're able to see through the world. And Maharaj is saying, next they're saying, Assu sukhi vasandiya jina maya har rai. Assu, referring to the month of Assu. Sukhi meaning peaceful. Vasandiya means to live or to dwell. Jina, those who. Maya, graced by. Har is referring to Vaheguru, who is the remover of all suffering and pain. Rai is referring to Vaheguru, who is the King of Kings. So here, Maharaj is saying, in the month of Assu, when the remover of suffering and pain, our King of Kings, Vaheguru, has mercy upon us, then we're blessed with his divine love. Then we're at peace. Then we're happy and at peace internally and externally. So Sangaji, we often think that, you know what, I'll be at peace when I get the right job. I'll be at peace. I'll be at peace when I get the right job. Or I'll be at peace, when I'll be at peace when I get the right job, Sangaji. Sardarji is hinting at me. We say to ourselves that I'll be at peace when I lose weight, maybe I'll be at peace when I get the right job, I'll be at peace when I do this and when I do that. But the reality is that we're never going to be at peace like that. The reality is until we have that connection with Vaheguru, we're never really going to be peaceful inside. All of these things are great, but they're temporary. We're looking for something that is more permanent. And Sangaji, the truth is, coming back to the main point, the truth is that Vaheguru was never really absent. It was just our mind was elsewhere. Our mind was distracted by this modern world. And how? It's when we compare our lives to others. We say, oh, look at that person, he's going on vacations, and look at me. My life is miserable. We're always multitasking. The notifications on our phone have hijacked our awareness. That's how we're distracted. We have this constant need for stimulation in life. We can't sit still. We want to be doing something. Either scrolling on our phone or, being on the move. We always want to be doing something. That's how our awareness is going outwardly. But we want to bring it inwards. And how do we do that? Through simran, through reading Gurbani, to contemplating Gurbani, coming into the sangat and doing seva. That's how we bring our awareness inwards. So Sangaji, in summary, Guru Gobind Singh Ji aren't really far away from us. They're still here with us. They're here with us in the form of Gurbani. They're here in the form of contemplating upon Gurbani, reading Gurbani, listening to Gurbani. When we do that, we're able to have that conversation with our Guru. So for those that didn't raise their hand, when I asked, have you ever read Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Gurbani within Guru Granth Sahib Ji? Take that initial step to start reading the Bani that is written within Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Make that connection with your Guru. Start to build that relationship with your Guru. If you're not able to do that, maybe start reading the daily Hukamnama Sahibs. So this Gurdwara Sahib is amazing, where the Kirtanis, the Jatha here, they read the Nitnem and they also take Hukamnama Sahibs and they share it within the group. And with that Hukamnama Sahib, there's a translation as well. You can be reading that and reflecting on that every single day to see what your Guru is saying to you. Number 2, living Gurbani isn't just sitting in meditation. It's how we show up in our daily relationships with each other, with our family, with our friends, with our children. Are we talking with them with anger, with frustration? Or are we talking to them with love? Are we being rude to each other? Are we being negative with each other? Are we talking with love? And lastly, make Sangat your priority. Because when we come into the Sangat, our ego calms down and we become humble. And the moment when we come into the Sangat, we start to see what everybody else is doing, and we think to ourselves, मैं ऐਵੇਂ ही हवा दे विच उड्डी ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ या उड्डी ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ. Look at what everybody else is doing. I'm nothing. That happens only when we come into the Sangat. And within the Sangat, we don't say I, we say we. We become one collective unit. And that's how Sangat keeps our ego down, keeps us humble. And that's where we want to be. So Sangaji, these are the teachings for the month of Assu. And please forgive me as I've made several mistakes, and Sadaji have pointed that out as it is. And thank you so much for your love and support. And we will see you hopefully next month. And thank you so much for coming. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.